I want to welcome you to the first Lauderdale lead of the season. We are so glad you've joined us today. We miss having all of you here at Coral Ridge to enjoy a meal together, to spend time networking with one another, and we most definitely look forward to the day when we can see you all in person once again. For this semester, each of our talks will be virtual at 12 noon. These talks will also be available to share following each event by going to lauderdalelead.com. Even through this pandemic, our mission remains the same. We desire to make South Florida a better place to live, work, and raise a family. And we are very excited to continue offering you tools to equip and encourage your teams during this time. This afternoon, we have the privilege of welcoming back a great friend of Lauderdale lead, Laine Schmidt. Laine is an executive coach and the founder of Laine Schmidt Coaching. Laine has worked with global teams. She has trained leaders with how to coach her people within organizations and is a corporate trainer for Dale Carnegie of Southeast Florida. Today, Laine will be giving us a talk on the power of process. Laine, thank you so much for being with us today. Over to you.
Thank you, Andrew. Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about something that can change your business. About a year ago, one of our clients, we'll call her Lindsay, hired her first assistant. She was so excited. She was going to hand over all the things she didn't want to do anymore and have so much extra time to focus on the things she wanted to focus on. Her assistant starts, and their first day they hop on a call and go over all the things: how their agency onboards clients, how they do their marketing, how they schedule appointments. She was so detailed. A month into it, Lindsay and her assistant were exhausted. She had told her about all of the things. Why weren't any of them working? It wasn't until she had to change assistants that she was forced to go, okay, I'm investing all this money into someone who's supposed to help, but it's not helping. We worked to help her do it differently the second time. This time, she spent a lot of time thinking through the smallest of details in regards to how everything in their company works. She created lists and explanations and contact files and put everything into digital folders. It took some time. But just 2 weeks after starting with her new assistant, Lindsay realized the power of processes. With the time invested on the front end, she had freed up tons of time on the back end, giving her the freedom to spend time on things that have made her business grow. And now, anyone new who joins her team, she's able to say, here you go. This is how we do what we do. It took more than a weekly check-in with her assistant and an ongoing text thread full of memes and niceties. It took more than a friendly relationship to make her business work. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. This is a widely tossed around concept. Is healthy work culture necessary for happy business teams? Absolutely. But when we only focus on culture, our business gets into trouble. In order to have healthy culture, you have to have strategy. More specifically, you have to have clear processes. When we do, our team is equipped, our customers and our clients are happy because they have a high quality, consistent service, and we save time and resources. There are dozens of areas where we need processes: communication, sales, marketing, daily operations, program development, training and development, onboarding, the list goes on and on. Regardless of where you begin to sharpen your business by creating processes, today we are focusing on how to create them. Well-oiled processes have 4 elements. Every process should be created, documented, communicated, and assessed. I guess you could call this the process for your processes. These 4 things work beautifully together, and if we leave out even one step, we will not get the full benefits we are looking for. For example, you have just hired a new graphic designer named Alex. You are traveling the week that Alex begins, but it's okay. Your partner is there to help Alex get started. You and your partner have discussed at length what you want your branding to look like. There is clear understanding between the two of you of what Alex should do to bring that branding to life. Or is there? You return to town to find that Alex has created some lovely marketing campaigns, but they aren't exactly what you had in mind. You thought your partner could handle this. Now you're frustrated. Why didn't your partner listen better? It must have been all the text messaging during your conversation that distracted him, and now here we are with work we have paid for but can't use. Frustration builds. What could have prevented this? A simple document in black and white outlining the process that your company uses for design creation. Let's dive into the 4 steps of creating a good process. Number 1, creating it. Get it on the calendar. A day where you and your leadership team can block off some time and hash out the nuts and bolts of how things work. Time? Oh, no, we can't take time to do that. Well, you're wasting more time than you know by not doing it. It can feel daunting, but pick one area of your business to start with and focus on that. We usually recommend to our clients to start with communication. That needs to be in place for all the other processes to work. Identify what the challenges are due to lack of clear processes in those areas and discuss how things will improve once your process is in place. This is the think tank, brainstorm, mastermind step where everyone's input is vitally important because they see things that you don't. Take a few hours and discuss. You might already have chunks of process already in place. You just need to iron out the wrinkles and fill in the holes. Dave works at a company in Seattle. He noticed that the way they keep their personnel files was like the Wild West. People knew what needed to go in them, but they were unorganized, out of date, and so on. Dave took it upon himself to create a process for maintaining these files, and while doing so, he came across something that would turn out to be terribly embarrassing for their company. The deductions in employee benefits didn't match the benefits they were receiving. Out of the 60 employees, at least 20% were either paying for benefits they weren't enrolled in or had signed up for benefits they weren't paying for. It was an HR nightmare. Dave had to meet with each employee and have some very awkward conversations. Luckily, the company was able to refund the employees, but this all could have been avoided. They had the big chunks of process in place, but they had not taken time to fill in the gaps. Number 2, documenting it. Don't overthink this. You're simply transferring your ideas to paper. It can take as little as 5 minutes to scratch it out and 10 minutes to type it up and put it in a shareable file. 15 minutes and you're done. Having your processes documented is essential because it helps with clarification, onboarding, HR issues, and scalability. How nice would it be for the next person you bring on board to have all the information they need at any time? Then, if that role is given to someone else later, they can simply hand over the file. Here you go, everything you need to know. Number 3, communicating it. Every day, everywhere, amazing companies just like yours create and document plans, but they think they've told the right people, but they haven't. They think that they do because of a quick chat in the hall or a brief email that went out, but as George Bernard Shaw accurately puts it, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. To ensure that your team is in the know, create a plan for how you'll communicate this new process to everyone who needs to know it. You'll save yourself stress, give them what they need to work well, and build your leadership credibility. We need to decide how to tell people, but we also need to decide how to remind them. Your team is busy. Their brains are so full. Include a reminder strategy in your plan. Repetition will serve you all very well. Number 4, assess it. What's a process worth if it's not working? Plan to come back to the table in 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months to gauge progress. It's best to have these 3 check-in times because there will most likely be needed adjustments, and it's easier to make those at the beginning rather than after everyone's gotten into a rhythm of doing something the same way for a year. At the assessment meeting, we go full circle back to the beginning. Remember those challenges you laid out in the creation stage? Are they still occurring? This question alone will get your meeting started on a productive note. Is your process measurable? If so, wonderful. Just be sure you're actually measuring. It's always a good time to look at the health of our businesses, to see if the processes in place are appropriate, helpful, and serving the culture of your team. Gift yourself the time to create, document, communicate, and assess your processes, and you'll have a much more productive and happier workplace.
Laine, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
Of course.
Before you go, I want to make you aware of another special event that is happening tomorrow, September 18th at 1 p.m. Lauderdale Lead is partnering with an organization called Made to Flourish. We will be welcoming Laine's husband, Brad Schmidt, as well as Janie Mahaffey, and they will be discussing how to thrive while working from home, which I know a lot of us will be able to relate to. So this talk can be found on our streaming site, crpc.tv, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Whether you're working from home or you're back at the office, we want Lauderdale Lead to continue to be a resource for you during this uncertain time. This talk and our semester schedule can all be found by going to lauderdalelead.com. Also, if you're interested in more information on Laine Schmidt coaching, visit laineschmidt.com. Be sure to mark your calendar for our next Lauderdale Lead on October 15th at 12 noon. And until then, please stay safe and stay well as you continue to inspire, mentor, and lead.